If you feel exhausted by dinner before you even start cooking, it might not be the cooking, it might be that you have decision fatigue. Every day, we make thousands of decisions. It's estimated that the average American adult makes over 35,000 decisions every single day. And so all of those decisions add up and they lead to decision fatigue and mental overload. Especially as the day goes on, your mental energy gets depleted with all of these little decisions that you have to make. Whether it's big decisions or small decisions, they all add up as far as our brain is concerned. And one area of our life that we have to make multiple decisions every day is with food, because most of us are eating multiple times a day. Often we're deciding what we want to eat, what sounds good, what we're having cravings for, whether or not we need to run to the grocery store to get any of the food to make what sounds good, whether you have the time or energy to cook the food, and whether or not everybody is going to enjoy the food that you do make. By the end of the day, when dinner happens, most of us are mentally tapped out. We have spent the majority of our day making decisions around work, parenting, scheduling, multiple phone calls, text messages, meetings. All of those things have depleted our resources when it comes to making decisions. And if you didn't start the day with a plan for dinner, that means you're more likely to get takeout or overspend at the grocery store, waste more food because the food that you do have might not get used, and you're just going to feel overall more stressed and overwhelmed by dinner. But there is a way to reduce this decision fatigue when it comes to food, and it's called a meal plan. A meal plan virtually eliminates the decision fatigue around food because you've already done the upfront work of deciding what to eat before the day happens. So you can simply look at the meal plan, get started cooking, and you don't have to think about it. Plus, you're able to plan out your meals when you're feeling calm rather than rushed and scrambling trying to figure out what to eat. You're also able to go to the grocery store with a plan, an organized list, so that you can actually buy all of the things that you need, not purchasing at random and not overbuying things that you don't need and won't get used. If you're not already meal planning, the first place is to just get started. I always recommend starting small when you get started meal planning. You don't need to plan every meal of every day. You can simply start with a few dinners for the week ahead and see how it pans out. This gives you room for flexibility in your schedule so that you can move meals around. It gives you the opportunity to eat any leftovers that might accumulate, and it prevents you from overbuying food that's just not going to get used. If you're already a meal planner and you simply struggle to be consistent with it, or are currently struggling with so much decision fatigue that you can't even decide what to eat for dinner, here are a few tips for you. One thing you could focus on is repeating meals every few weeks. So you might take a chunk of 15 or 20 recipes, and that's what you're going to plan from for the next month. You're just going to repeat meals as necessary, and you're going to throw away the idea that you need a bunch of variety in your meal plan. Another tactic you could use is to create theme nights for each night of the week. This can be cute alliterations like Meatless Monday, Taco Tuesday, or Sandwich Saturday, or you could simply create your themes around different types of protein. So each day of the week gets labeled with a different type of protein, and then you're able to quickly choose what recipes fall into those categories. It's also a good idea to keep a list of your fallback meals. These could be things like pantry staple meals, or sometimes we call these recovery meals. These are meals that you already have the ingredients at home, whether in your pantry or your freezer, and you're able to make those meals on nights when you either don't have very much energy, or maybe you forgot to make your meal plan, or you haven't gone grocery shopping yet, and you just need a way to get dinner on the table. It's also really helpful to get your family involved in the meal planning process. If you're feeling overwhelmed by the idea of creating a meal plan, including your family and asking for their opinion on what you could make this week is going to really help and eliminate some of those decisions you're making. Finally, it's a good idea to keep your meal plan visible, whether that is in an app on your phone like Plan to Eat, or print it out on your refrigerator so you can constantly be referencing the meal plan and know that you're following along with the plan rather than going off script every week. Meal planning is not about creating a plan and having to execute it perfectly every single week. A meal plan is designed to reduce some of the mental load that you feel, particularly around food and decisions when it comes to meal times. So even a loose plan where you have a general idea of what your week looks like is going to help a lot when it comes to feeling overwhelmed and feeling like you have too many decisions to make during the week. The goal isn't to always make dinner an exciting experience every single night. We all have seasons of life where things are crazy busy and we just need things to feel simple, which is exactly what a meal plan does. Sometimes a meal plan helps us introduce variety into our meals, and sometimes it simply just helps make getting dinner on the table easier. So if you're in that stage of life where you're always tired, you always feel like there's too many things going on, do yourself a favor and create a meal plan for the week ahead. You're going to be amazed at how much it helps you reduce your decision fatigue. Thank you for watching, and I will see you again soon in another video.